Greetings and welcome to Francraft. The building you see behind me is something I was working on off camera, but it does not work very well. I was trying to get these villagers to breed, and they won't. I guess the Roach Motel design doesn't really work. Anyway, today's video isn't going to be about my single player modded playthrough. Instead, I got somebody else to show me around Francraft. Somebody by the name of Bez133, who I'm pretty sure is the owner of the Francraft server. Saw my Chaos Brigade video and thought he could do a better job of showing me around of all the different farms and everything. I tried to get him to show me some stuff that was built for recreational purposes, but I guess there's not a lot of that. It's kind of the server's kind of got like a hermitcraft, sidecraft vibe, so they're more focused on the mechanical aspects of the game. I got about an hour's worth of footage, so instead of trying to cut it all down into a 20-minute long video, I'm just going to cut it into parts and release multiple parts of this tour. Starting with part 1 today, part 2 next week, internet willing, so on and so forth. Enjoy.
This is the hub. This center portal here is 0, 0. In every single dimension on the server, we have a portal at 0, 0. So if at any point in time you don't know where you're at, you get lost, you always head to 0, 0, and you'll be able to get home. Same thing with the end. You know, our the end exit portal is 0, 0, Nether and Overworld. You already explored Spawn for a good portion. There's really never much going on there. We have the member island, which is where the portal is actually at. That technically goes to Spawn, and that's more or less just like a spawn house that every member can set up. To be honest, most people don't necessarily have like a base. Like some people have, builds that they've worked on and stuff like that. But like I personally don't have a base. Um, I'm just normally working on projects, and we're kind of like communist, I guess, in a sense that we just share for the most part. Like there's really not anything um, rare or that you really buy from anybody. But at the same time, anytime you need a certain block or item, we have farms for most things. And so it's right there ready to go. You don't have to go, mining for diamonds to buy some gunpowder from somebody. You can just go to storage, and 9 times out of 10, there's probably going to be shulkers full of stuff. Um, so it's kind of how we set it up. Plus, we like big technical farms, so that's kind of what that is. So I guess you just want to run through farms. Oh, first we'll do this. Okay, so we're still working on it, but this is the hub map. And then we have shulker box displays of food and rockets on either side. And this is on all 4 sides. So no matter what, you'll be able to kind of figure out where you're going somewhat. But we're still working on the map. So it is a work in progress. The first floor of the hub, every tunnel will end up being a piston bolt. So some of those are marked off already. Some of them are still a work in progress. The second and third floors are for less used farms or shorter tunnels. We do have a couple really quick piston bolts. One is for the furnace. I know you showed that off already. And then one is for the in portal room, which is almost finished. We have a few more layers of glass to add, and then it'll be completely done. So first floor tunnels that we'll go through for this over here is our frog light tunnel. It's about 3,000 over 3,000 blocks in distance. So not finished with that yet. It'll be a while, but the Froglight farm that we do have created about 4 shulkers worth of each color of Froglight in less than an hour of runtime. And it's so overpowered that I almost crashed the server 3 times in that hour. So we still have some tweaking on that to do to make sure we can run it legitimately and not worry about the server crashing. This is our new storage right over here. We can check that out if you want. I'll remove this one really quick, but when you get in the cart and you hit the button, another one should pop up right behind it in that same spot. That'll redo it, but we might be out of mine carts too, because I think I only put like 8 or 9. All right, so we just finished this. This is our new storage. Yeah. So we have our bulk is down this way, and it has shulkered box displays. These top ones get filled, and these bottom ones are just for taking if you need. You can take from the top as well, but once they're full, they'll break off and then go into the chest right below them. But these are, for the most part, any block that's in here, we have some sort of farm for. So we will have quite a bit to go around. We have our input over this way. It's a single chest, but if you come out here, it splits into more chests into the dropper that spits out the items. Yeah, this is our yeah, this is our perimeter. We've been working on the wall. I've got a few statues done, but we'll eventually have every member will have their own statue uh, set up on the wall. So that's another big project that's not quite done yet. I fell. Shouldn't have to go through that door too much, but it happens. We've got a ender pearl stasis chamber in here as well. You got ender pearls down here in the bottom. You just go in, throw your pearl straight up, and then hit the note block, and that'll punch out the soul sand and keep it in stasis. And you can either set up bots to punch it, or just have someone back here and have them punch it, and it'll teleport you back. We have mailboxes for everybody. So, like, if you put an item in, the light will turn on. And then if you take it out, light will turn off. That way you can tell if you have any mail or not. If we get like rare items, like when 119 dropped, we got a bunch of horns. So anybody that wasn't on when we got them, we just put their horns in it, and then they can come and grab it whenever they get a chance. So behind you is kind of our armory / tool area. Most of these are single stack items. So instead of going crazy and trying to make sorters for those, we just keep them in normal chests. And I mean, a lot of them we have shulkers on top of shulkers of those items. We've got a really big villager trading hall, so pretty easy to get new gear. And then, of course, a spawn bed for anybody that wants to set their spawn here. That way, if you die, you're right here by armor, whatever you need. Got a little bit of map art on display, I guess. This one right here. So in the end, if you build glass, I think at level 1, not 0, at level 1, and then you can put carpet above it, it'll create these like sort of translucent maps. It won't recognize the glass. It'll just it'll record it as 0, I guess. I'm not really sure how it works, but then you get invisible item frames, and you can create little banners and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been messing around with that, trying different stuff, and then we've got more just miscellaneous storage over that way. trying to get most stackable items set up. So that way anybody can grab whatever they need. And then tons of more just miscellaneous storage that doesn't get sorted. So, all right, do you want to try to ride the piston bolt? Okay. And then just push that button right behind you. On these shorter ones, they're not really necessary, but there's some that are, they go quite a while to where it gets kind of annoying to ride rockets or use rocket. You know what I mean? Minecraft as a program, people don't really realize how much it'll actually tax your computer. So even if you have a decent gaming computer, could be very much. And then it ejects you and drops the minecart off. This is our Higlin bartering system. So they do gold, right? And they'll give you different items. Some of the items we don't really mess with too much. Mainly keep like building blocks. There's some of them that don't even have storage space, but just put in the gold in those chests, and they'll go down into 3 droppers. There's 25 piglins sitting in there, and then you flip this lever, and it'll shoot it out. And once they're done, that slime block will push it over and then shoot it down the line, and the hoppers pick it up. And yeah, I died going in there. I don't know if you can see when I was getting them in there. I died because of entity cramming, and someone's wearing a turtle helmet, an elytra, and they have a netherite sword. So exactly. So we have a really overpowered gold farm. We have one of the portal farms, so we have tons of gold. So quite a bit of this is just chock full to the point that we're not even really collecting half of what we have on display. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Mainly at this point, we're just running it to get the crying obsidian. We do have it's nice to get the obsidian as well, but we do have a separate obsidian farm. So not necessary, but it's the only way you can get crying obsidian. So sometimes we'll just waste a couple shulkers of gold blocks on getting crying obsidian, which is yeah, it's a bit of a waste, but you know. All right. So this next tunnel, we're not going to go down it. There's not really a whole lot to show off. It's a deep slate mine. There's some coral reefs, and then our future amethyst farm. We found a small area that has 3 amethyst, like the geodes, really close together. So like all within a, loadable area. So that's good that we found that. The farms are kind of finicky, so we haven't really done much with it yet. We've got a couple other places. At the end of the day, if you just AFK one or put a bot by just one geode, you can end up getting close to 2 shulker boxes full of the amethyst if you just mine it, manually. So, but yeah, we'll just skip this one. The deep slate mine though was done in 1.18. So there's a very big area where there's emerald, deep slate ore, and the deep slate coal ore, which are very rare to find after 1.19. So that's the main place for that because we're trying to collect a shulker box of every item. I was really excited when Blackstone came out, but definitely prefer Deep Slate over Blackstone any day. After Deep Slate came out, I'm not a huge fan. We might actually end up changing this out uh for Deep Slate. The server colors are red and black, like, so that's we kind of kept it that way, but I don't know. I like Deep Slate better. It may just look better. Or we'll change out the regular stone stuff for Deep Slate. Who knows? Uh, so if you couldn't tell, this is a dripstone farm. And this is a pretty short tunnel. You can see the other tunnel on your right, the Deep Slate one. That's a piston bolt as well. It goes out, I think, 800, 900 blocks, I believe. That was a pain to make just because of the decorations in it. This is the design, anyway, I should say, is from Il Mango or the Francraft server, or not Francraft, Psycraft server. I believe they did this on their Blitz one, or they've done forms of it on other servers. But it's just a simple slime block machine that does a sweep on a daylight sensor. And then at the end, there's holes where the dripstone drops down into the items, and then they all just come over here into these chests. Right, right. Right. Well, it'll actually run twice a day. So we've got it set on night mode. So once it drops to a certain light level, it'll run it. And then once the sun comes up and gets to a certain light level, it'll run it again. But that's plenty of time. I mean, it basically every 10 minutes it'll run. You don't want it to like sit for too long, because then you start cutting down on actual growth, because some will stop growing at a certain point. There's kind of like that little sweet spot, and it's got an automatic return, so wherever they end up, those are their stations, and then they'll go to the other end. It'll hit some observers, triggering it to come back. And right now we've got 3 pods. We're going to end up putting another one up there, but at that point we'll have to use shulker box loaders because we'll be getting so many dripstone, so we really haven't messed with it. But it's got moss block and jack-o'-lanterns in there. Yeah, the grass will mess it up. Moss block doesn't, for whatever reason. And the jack-o'-lanterns are just for mobs. We do have a mob switch, but if it's not on, there's a bunch of mobs in there. They don't really mess with the machine. But like zombies, if they can pick up items, they'll pick up a dripstone item and then they won't despawn, which just is annoying, but is what it is.
Alright, that was part 1 of the Bez tour. If you got this point in the video, it means the world to me, as it always does. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Farewell.